Welcome to HK Clubbing HQ. Today our special guest is Janette Slack. Welcome, Janette.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. So today what we'll be doing is we'll be going over and asking Janette a number of different questions to find out more about what she's currently doing in Hong Kong, and yeah, that's really what it's all about. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're currently doing in Hong Kong.
My name is Janette Slack, and I'm an artist. I was born here and then did a 16-year stint in London and then came back. I'm best known for being a DJ, but I also teach a piece of software called Logic X to kids and adults, and I also teach DJing, vinyl and digital, and I also write music for ads, websites, casinos, games and apps.
So quite a lot to keep you busy.
Yeah, never a dull moment.
And with the teaching that you do for kids, is that where do you do that at the international schools? Do you do that in your studio? Where do you
Quite a variety of places, yeah. So I do teach at some of the international schools. That's for kids above the age of 15 before they go to college. I also design the syllabus as well. So I just don't teach that. It's all they're my modules that I've created. I also teach in people's homes and also online, and special selected students can come to my studio.
Okay, that's great. And what do you spend most of your time during the week? What do you spend most of your time doing during the week? Is it doing the teaching with the students, or is it producing music, or does it always change?
It's juggling. Yeah, I juggle between the two. Sometimes it leans more to the music writing. Depends on the deadlines and the projects that I have. So sometimes and then also, yeah, it is the teaching as well. So some of them some of the teaching, they're quite flexible with me, which is quite a blessing. I'm very lucky to have that. And because they understand I'm busy with other projects, and then because a deadline is a deadline, as you know, yeah. Right? But yeah, exactly. But it's so yeah. Recently, it's been. I can delve into that a bit later.
Okay, no problem. So during the current times with the virus, how has your work changed, and what have you been doing differently?
Well, my job's kind of split into three parts. So there's the public performing, the teaching, and the music writing. So obviously the public performing, just in the past few weeks, that's gone down a bit, so at least I've got the two other things to support me. So there's the teaching. So my students are between the ages of 6 to 74. So that's quite a range, yeah. And they all come from all walks of life and different styles of music, and so that's been some of those lessons have kind of dipped down a bit, but which understandably, but we found a way to teach online. And then also the music writing, I've had my plate full. I'm now writing music for MAC Cosmetics, so some of the adverts that you'll see, that music's done by me. And then also I've been working with a band in London called Punt Guns, who are being produced by Andy Wright, he's produced for people like Pavarotti, Natalie Imbruglia, NXS, and Annie Lennox, just to name a few. And yeah. This is now his new project, and I've been remixing half the album for them. So I've had, and that's just a few things. Those are the highlights.
Quite a few of those things, like you're saying, is you can actually do that online. You don't actually need to see these people. I mean, you're doing this work anyway, and it's for the UK, yeah. So it doesn't really change.
I've had a self-inflicted lockdown pretty much most of my life.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. So it's when I do the DJing, that gets me out of that. Then that provides the balance. So, because I don't do full-time DJing, I don't play 4 times. It's just,
I don't see you that often anymore.
Yeah, it's just special events.
Actually, I don't think since
I've never really done I've never done full-time. It's just always special events. Yeah, and things I believe in, and charity events and stuff.
All right. How do you feel the music industry will change after the virus has affected the whole world?
Yeah, so what for.
I mean, obviously concerts and shows, that's been had a major impact.
Yeah, massively. Well, let's talk about the plus points. I mean, it's definitely bridged the gap between the artist and the punter, which has been wonderful. What's been great is the live Instagram feeds and Facebook and all these other formats, Twitch, but before live's always been there.
Yeah.
But this is the first time the whole world is united through a trauma of some sort.
Yeah.
And trying to be, and that is one thing that's connected everybody. So who was it that kind of really got the ball rolling on this, called Club Quarantine, DJ D Nice. And you tune in to he started mixing on his Instagram live, and as during this feed, it was just, he was like, yeah, let's try and get this up to 10,000 listeners and 20,000. And then you're in there and there's Oprah Winfrey coming into the chat feed, Michelle Obama, Naomi Campbell. And you're thinking, when in time would you be watching a DJ feed where Michelle Obama is watching at the same time as you?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if it wasn't for this, and also it's just things like watching my favorite comedians like Daniel Sloss. All of a sudden it's like, oh, he's online and he's there having a rant about the virus or politics or what he ate that day. And these are normally people that you would see on a Netflix special or an HBO special. And this time they're right in the palm of your hand, in their bedroom, in their kitchen, talking about stuff. And or showing you like that about them cooking, or just having a rant about the news, and so you're getting the news alternative as well, but through a comedian as well. So that's that for me. I hope that never really stops. I think it will die down a bit. So
people, because obviously a lot of these people will be started touring again and just doing other things. But yeah, I agree. There's so much content. I've in the office, I just haven't had time to listen and check out all of the new stuff that is of my favorite artists.
Yeah,
there's just so much.
It's just luck. It's a moment, and that's why when you catch them, you're kind of like, oh goodness. That's why right now. I mean, back in January, I let you into a little, bit of trivia here. I cancelled all my subscriptions to everything, Netflix, any of those things, because those will always be there.
Yeah.
Right. But the live stuff won't. So if you find yourself, what inspired me was because I saw people posting up going, what series shall I watch? I'm really bored. And I think, well, if don't have enough choice when you've got Netflix, then you just get rid of it, because live is where it's at right now. And that's way more interesting. And it's the interactiveness that you can have. Sometimes I've been able to influence. You're able to go, hi from Hong Kong, put a little flag, and then
they mention
go, oh wow, great, how are things over there? And then it kind of sways the conversation, and that's something you'd never be able to do if you're watching Netflix, or even if you're in the audience.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting, and then you're connecting with other people again, and everyone's on the same. There is a common ground there, right? So. And I've been really enjoying feeds and also seeing a window into a lot of these artists' lives, like watching Fatboy Slim's daughter play.
Yeah, I saw
that. That was so cute, right? And also, John Digweed, his girls coming just, while he's DJing, they're coming and doing a bit of a dance in the dark. And
I've seen quite a few where their dogs start running into the shot as well. They're like get out of the way, I'm busy.
Yeah, and it's live as well, so you can't. But it has its charm as well. And then you've got Lady Wax and her daughter coming into the shot as well, and she's just kind of like, oh, go over there, and it's just really sweet. And Crafty Cuts and his twin boys helping him out with the stream and troubleshooting stuff, and they're helping their dad give shout outs to this person and stuff. And it's just I think it's great. I mean, it's really, that's the silver lining of it, that's the everyone kind of the light out of the darkness, I'd find. But I mean, it will, when things go back to normal, which I know we're all gagging for that to happen, just make the most of this as well, and also try and donate to those artists if they're asking for donations as well, even if it's just a coffee. It's the least we could do, for sure.
That is true. And what would you like to see develop in Hong Kong? For example, a new music school, new entertainment venues. What have you always wished that Hong Kong had?
More community stuff. We're so spoilt for choice here in terms of venues. There's a lot going on until very late at night. You know, I've traveled the world and I've got, there are certain countries you go to and everything just shuts by 10 or 11 p.m. and then, or there's not very much choice to go anywhere. So,
okay.
What was I going to say, yes. So what I really want is things that you normally set up. You do the event stuff where where you bring people together from, video, makeup,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, there's not. I mean,
I'm still we're still working on it, still trying.
Absolutely, and I know it's a really hard thing to coordinate, but I really think. But Frank's is trying to do this. So Frank's as in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not my mate Frank, but yeah, there's
the venue, yeah.
But like sporadically on certain Mondays, they have this AAA thing where everybody there's from the industry, whether they be working in video, they're in bands, or they set up festivals or events, and it's just really because there's not many places where everyone can congregate together because we're always working at strange hours.
Yeah. It's difficult to find the right time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got and to have more of those, and for everybody from all backgrounds to come. I'd love to see things like, even probably if we could do like organized paintballing or bowling together, just so everyone can kind of mishmash together. Because we always come bump into each other I only really meet other artists when I'm working. And then and you're always in a rush, and you kind of cross through, and you high five each other, but you don't really get to sit down and get to know each other
chat, yeah.
and have a So that's why things like the events that you put on, and also that Franks do, which are very sporadic. And thank you so much for doing them. But more of those are great because every time I go to those, I meet so many people that I wouldn't have met.
Exactly.
But at the same time, when we network and we find that we can help each other in some sort of way, or we build a relationship, it's definitely a lot more of a. You can build more of a solid relationship at those events rather than passing through at a gig. So, and like, I'd love to see people like Soul Passion and Yeti and Underground HK and Drag Jam all be in one room together, all chatting and just have this melting pot of people. Because I mean, Hong Kong, it is it is a small community here, but there's still a lot of people I haven't met.
Yeah.
And I'm a social person,
Well, we plan to do it once we can.
Yeah.
Plan to do it at least once a month. That's the plan, and then have also speakers at that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
The last one we did, it was pretty good. Good crowd of people.
Yeah.
So that is in the works.
Yeah, for sure. And then also for more people who still haven't come to those yet, please come to them because they're great.
Okay. Next question. What music have you produced that people may know that you were responsible for? The music that you actually made, which got the most attention, I guess, or most visibility or international.
Yeah. So I'll split that into two. I'll talk about a local one and a global one.
Okay.
So there is let's start with local. There is a pop star here called Sandy Lam Yik Lin. And she did this tour, I think it was a 2-year tour. It was her Pranava tour. And in this, I produced four of the backing tracks for a section of her concert. So, which was most of the concerts are very ballady and dramatic and amazing production.
With dancers and everything.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the lighting and the projection. I mean, it was just stunning. Such a stunning. And most people, when you go to a Cantopop concert, everyone's sitting down and it has the cool lights and stuff, and enjoying and singing along to the songs. And it's quite a moving experience actually. And then my bit comes on. For about 15 minutes of the concert, and so that part's me. This is the bit where everybody stood up at the Hong Kong Coliseum and then just ran to the front, and it just became this crazy rave for about 15 minutes. And as soon as my last track was off, everyone sat down again and enjoyed the ballads.
Gad came.
It was strange, you know. I was like, wow, the whole place looked possessed. It was really rewarding because I did spend 8 to 10 weeks composing these tracks. I mean, she contacted me and said she heard my album and said, I want this sound, you know. So it was great. I was given so much freedom. They didn't say, please make it sound like this, sound like that. She says, I want this sound that you've got here. So I remixed some of her old tracks from the 80s and 90s and gave them a bit of a revamp.
Yeah.
And then the live band played over it as well. But it was it was just 10 weeks of me programming, and it's just me and the computer. So I've got no feedback. The only feedback I was getting in those 10 weeks was through her music director, Anthony Lunn. Just giving me going, this is great. I'm just getting emojis and exclamation marks. That's the only feedback I got. So then going to the actual concert and seeing the reaction of the crowd was, I thought, phew. Because I didn't know if the fans were going to like it or not.
Yeah,
you know, did I do this justice?
Yeah.
But I got so much great feedback. People saying, thank you, I've listened to this track for 25 years. I've heard it so many times. I'm so glad it's got an updated version. So I was glad I didn't offend anyone.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then also globally, well, recently it's the latest Mac adverts. So it's fantastic. The first lot were just for Asia and Australia, and this lot's going to be global. Yeah. Wow, so if I'm apologize if you're watching YouTube and you know a Mac advert comes on.
I think I've even probably. Yeah. Well, when I do see the Mac advert next time, I'll make sure I actually listen to it.
Right.
So just skipping it on YouTube or something. And what plans do you have for the rest of the year that you can share with us? So obviously you've got the Mac, which you're doing right, which you've been doing. What else have you got planned? And obviously you'll be doing the teaching and going to the schools, and now they're open as well.
Yeah, yeah. So luckily this week, since all the news has been updated us on what's going on and what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. So there's a few venues that are opening. So there's Lambda, which is on Hollywood Road, which is a multifunctional entertainment venue. Yeah. The space is fantastic because it's.
I've already been there.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's about 5,000 square foot. Isn't it? Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's to the point where you can have a roller disco in there.
I'm sure they.
I have to enter that.
Sure, they're probably going to do that. Yeah.
So that's opening in about a month, I reckon. And they're going to have special themed nights there, so I'm playing at the opening of that. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And I think Hong Kong's very hungry for a new venue, that has a lot of space. We've got nice little ones. So this one's. I quite like how it's a little bit out the way as well. It's not in the heart of Lan Kwai Fong, but it's in Hollywood Road, towards the beginning of Hollywood Road.
Yeah. Over in Sheung Wan, yeah.
Yeah, so that's it's away from all the riffraff and and there's also another place called Farmerland, which is part of Soho Farmer, and this is on the end of PMQ, and there's this wonderful art space there as well, and it's also a restaurant, and it sells healthy Chinese food. So that's part of Soho Farmer. And then Farmerland has 3 rooms, and they've got these swing chairs and this. Have you been there yet?
No, I haven't been.
Oh, you must go. It's great. And they have this room that has all 3 walls. It's floor to ceiling projections, and so it's called a living canvas. And if you've got video, it just projects a really, really clear video and photos onto the wall, just from floor to ceiling. It's absolutely stunning, really, really nice. So if you want it to look like a forest, it can. Yeah, if you want it to look like you're underwater, you can. If you just want to kind of go through photo slides, you can. It's really, it's quite something. So, and that place only opened up recently, so that'd be nice to see that place take off. So I'm doing some stuff there. Okay. Also,
will that be DJing or?
DJing and trying to. I've got a lot of friends who are photographers and video, video artists, and they, it's somewhere where they can display their work. Yeah. So, and there's obviously playing at Petticoat Lane, where I get to experiment with a lot of like good old and new house music and new disco, and also I play at Frank's sporadically, which is a vinyl only place.
It is, yes.
Yeah. I love Frank's. So that's Italian American Italian food.
Yeah. I've eaten there. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. They make their own mozzarella as well.
Yeah.
So every day. So that's why it's super nice. Yeah.
And what has been your all-time favorite event that you've DJ'd at, and why?
Oh gosh, this question.
It doesn't have to be in Hong Kong.
No, yeah,
It could be while you're in London.
I'm gonna have to split this into two because my life is split into two here in London. So in Hong Kong, my favorite, at the top of my head, my favorite event that I played at was at a secret gig for Chanel during the Chanel Mademoiselle. Oh gosh, it was about 2 years ago, and I did a secret gig with Pharrell Williams. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, and it was set in this secret venue in Sai Kung, and it was just awesome. I got to warm up for him and just play a lot of funk and breaks, and it was great. Even when I came off stage, just ran off stage, he's like, "Oh, that was fantastic," and just the high fives and the handshake we did. It was just boom, 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 boom. It went on. It was just like, "Oh, you know that handshake?" It was fantastic. Yeah, and then afterwards, after his performance, he was, we were both psyched from the performance. So it's his engineer, him and I hanging out, and he uses Logic Pro X as well. So it was great. It was great to just geek out on the software that I love with Pharrell Williams. It was just a really very surreal experience. Yeah. Lovely guy, really cool.
And what was the London one?
The London, okay, there's so many. There's two. I used to play in Elephant Castle, where there's Ministry of Sound and the Coronet. And Ministry of Sound is very, very polished, great sound system, very organized. Love playing there. Played there with Eric Murillo and a lot of quite a few cool nights there. I really liked the Coronet as well. I played there every couple of months, and the Coronet is more of it's an old theatre. Wow. It was actually Charlie Chaplin's first venue where he performed at, and it's absolutely stunning. The acoustics are
I've never heard of that.
They've just knocked it. They knocked it down about a year and a half ago, and it's super sad. So that's why I really want to talk about it. But whenever I played there, it's just a stunning. There's no decoration that can make it how it looks, like an old theatre looks. But whenever I played there, it's very special events where they'd have great lights, and it's just stunning and a great vibe. I mean, it's about I think the place can fit 3,000 people, but when I played there, they'd always only let in 2,500, so it wasn't all rammed and
too packed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big venue as well.
Yeah, it is, and it's a real shame. Well, it's been knocked down and the place getting gentrified. So yeah,
that's a pity. And which artists in Hong Kong do you admire in and outside of your field?
Good question. I'm a big fan of Roger Reflex.
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, he's just a multi-talented, eclectic DJ, and a nice guy. Plays so many different genres really well. I really admire Chris B from Underground HK.
Yeah.
You and her are kind of like the godmother and godfather of the scenes, just keeping people informed of, okay, how's everyone, is everyone's fees are getting covered for this, and trying to keep people informed and in the loop of many things.
Yeah, just sharing a lot of information. And
I say you and her are probably the most proactive ones.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah.
Because we usually get it first or before anyone else, so we want to obviously share it with as many people that it applies to.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, and you both naturally do that. So I really, really admire her. She's one of Hong Kong's top female guitarists, and she really helped to build the band scene. Sorry, the band scene. I don't know, the alternative rock and
live music.
I really and she's really on top of that and very passionate about it, and it's just fantastic how she's very a very nurturing person as well. So I really admire her on an artistic, just on a human level, really. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And finally, when you have some free time, obviously with all of what you said that you're doing, what is your favorite bar or restaurant to visit besides Frank's?
Yeah. Besides all the places that
and
I
the
go
one
to,
you've already mentioned.
Yeah, besides all the places that I already play at, I like to go to a place called Java, and that's nicely tucked away.
It's quite hidden.
Yeah, so it's on Peel Street, but kind of hidden away in an alley on 33 Peel Street, and they've got a lot. And why I like it's just very intimate, very cozy. They have a lot of artwork on rotation there, so every time you go in, it feels a bit different. They've got a little private room, and it's very, and you keep bumping into people there, and even if you don't know anyone there, everyone's quite chatty. But it's not. It's a very, very small bar, but it's just right, And I don't, and you're away from the main strip.
Yeah,
as well. Yeah, and it's just a really nice atmosphere, and they've got this signature drink called the Jar. So
that's what you have.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
the name of the venue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I really recommend it. It's just it's a very special place.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have today. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And or if you'd like to find out more about Janette, we'll include all of her links, social media, website, all of that, so you can find out more. And obviously you have a SoundCloud as well.
So Mixcloud.
Mixcloud, okay. So we'll include that as well, so you can also have a listen to some of the mixes as well. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.